the light rushed forward and washed over me, and I lost complete control.
So you have like pills that are prescribed to you?
Yeah, I have Klonopin and Abilify.
What are these prescribed for? What are you diagnosed with, would you say?
Schizoaffective disorder, but that was because I had a breakdown about 2 years ago. I don't think I'm schizophrenic.
What do you mean you had a breakdown?
I hadn't slept for 3 days.
How come?
This was actually 2 years ago. It's not that I didn't sleep. I was trying to get into kind of ascended meditation.
Okay. What is this?
Where you try and get to different states of consciousness.
Okay.
You did.
For 3 days in a row, what would happen is I'd meditate, and within about 5 to 10 minutes, my eyes would roll back into my head, and I'd just like sit there until I woke up in the morning. Or not woke up, but my eyes rolled back. To be honest, I had never tried to meditate seriously before.
Right.
That was the first time I'd tried doing it, and I had that. And then on the third day, I remember focusing on. I heard a small tone in the distance.
Wait, so were you meditating for 3 straight days?
No,
rolling eyes, come back.
No. I'd meditate before I'd go to bed.
Oh,
but then instead of going to bed, like my eyes would roll back into my head.
You don't think that was like a kind of REM sort of?
Maybe, but I was halfway conscious through it.
Right. Okay.
And then the third day, it wasn't before I went to bed. It was sometime during the day. I started meditating. I heard a ringing off in the distance, kind of like Tibetan singing bowls.
Okay.
But it was off in the distance, and I remember thinking, why don't I bring that in closer? And instantly, like, it was louder than anything I'd ever heard, and I saw a point off in the distance, like an infinitely bright point.
Right.
And I was like, okay, why don't I bring that closer? And the ringing broke.
Was this when your eyes were rolling?
No. My eyes were closed.
Just closed. They weren't rolling your head.
And the light rushed forward and washed over me, and I lost complete control of my body. I remember jolting up, kind of like almost not arms up like on the cross, but I don't know how to explain it. But that light was a light of pure love, forgiveness.
Right.
Felt like all knowledge.
They say you kind of hallucinate if you're awake for about 3 days.
Yeah. So
do you think this was part of it?
I think this part of it wasn't hallucination, but the breakdown that happened over the next 2 days. After that moment, I was hallucinating for 2 days straight.
Okay, hold on. Wow. So you get this white light. It washes over you. You lose control of your body, right?
But not like I lose control. But
you kind of arch your back and like.
And I remember for a split second, it felt like my consciousness got sucked through like some sort of wormhole. And I had a DMT-like experience. I've done DMT before, and it was very similar.
DMT is this thing that it supposedly is what is released in your brain before you die?
Yeah, so I think what happened was I meditated to the point where I androgynously produces DMT,
DMT, you think?
Yeah, I think that's what happened.
So is that what it felt like? What are you doing, Josh? Josh says,
I'm just listening, brother.
You don't think you could ever do this, Josh? You couldn't meditate. Josh, you're not a meditating person?
Well,
no, brother. That's his experience. I got nothing to say, man.
Well, and keep in mind, at the time, I was smoking about 7 to 8 grams of weed a day to help me meditate.
Fuck. 7 to 8 grams?
Yeah,
a day?
I was growing at the time. So.
Oh, there you go. Damn, I was gonna say that's an expensive habit.
Completely unrelated, though.
No, that probably had a lot to do with that.
Okay, so anyway, let's continue here. You have this experience. What is And when you lose control, what is it that you felt or saw? You lost consciousness of everything around you.
You were listening to Coast, East of the Rockies. Come on, call on in.
That's definitely what it sounds like. I do admit. It felt like I was being downloaded almost. Like there was. I can't remember what questions I was having. I was so out of it at that point. But I remember being in a state where I'd have questions, and then it would be answered back to me, but as if I had already known them.
Do you think you were hallucinating these, or you think this was part of the experience?
I think this part of it was real. I think that everything else that happened after I came back in was hallucinating.
Damn.
Keep in mind, when I came back into my body, I could hear for like 2 miles away, pitch
What?
clear. Yeah.
2 miles.
I'm exaggerating.
Right. But you could hear far away.
No!
I see what
No,
you're saying.
but the
you
point
can
is,
hear
like-
you had super good ear. You're Daredevil.
And like everything was brighter, like I had just taken mushrooms.
Right.
Did your vision become skin?
Huh?
Just need to know.
That's an old... It's a reference.
Vision is skin.
There it is. That's crazy. So okay, so you have this experience, then you don't go to bed afterwards, and you start you just hallucinate for 2 days straight.
Well, actually, I go to a concert. I go to a Foo Fighters concert with a friend while I'm in a minor hallucinatory state.
And do you think this is from staying up?
Yeah,
Or-
I think this was from staying up. Anyway, so I go to the Foo Fighters concert. I take 2 hash pills.
Yeah, I wouldn't go there if I was well rested.
I took a Vicodin. I had probably about 8 beers. And
A nice little cocktail going.
Yeah, man.
Of like no sleep.
Wait, hash pills. It's just something you get the dispensary.
yeah,
right?
yeah. And smoke some weed there as well. And when I woke up the following day, he dropped me off. That was the first full night of sleep I had, but I was still hallucinating throughout, like vivid dreams while I was asleep. When I woke up, I was petrified. One, that the police state had instituted martial law. 2, that it was cold. So obviously, the day after tomorrow it happened.
Right. It's apocalypse. It's a dystopian future outside.
Yeah. So, so for that full day, I was convinced that I was going to die.
So you're paranoid, super paranoid.
Yeah, so that's why they diagnosed me with schizoaffective disorders, because I had that breakdown.
And they institutionalized you after this?
I was in for 7 days. Oh, no, 10 days.
Okay.
It was a 5150 that turned into a 5250.
What's a 5250?
It's a
$1 more.
5150, but it's a 2-week hold instead of a 3-day hold.
Oh, okay.
And that just keeps going exponentially.
I'm sure.
And then there's one more that's a month hold, and then I think they just
5350.
So they think you had a schizo breakdown, or what was it called?
schizoaffective disorder. I would admit that was a schizophrenic breakdown.
You think so?
Yeah.
So, day 2.
Huh?
Day 2 of hallucination, and now you're day 1. You wake up, right?
Yeah.
And
Well, no. That was day 2, because
okay.
the whole previous day I was hallucinating.
Right, and then you slept.
Before I went to the concert.
So who finds you while you're freaking out and paranoid? Like,
Huh?
how do you get institutionalized? Does someone find you and go, oh man, you're a little nuts right now, let's call someone?
Well, I was trying to go to bed, and then I got up out of the bed really quick, and my family thought I lunged at my mom, which I was in a hallucinating state, so I might have lunged at my mom. I have no idea what happened.
Right. You don't remember.
Yeah. Well, I remember, but I remember what it felt like.
It felt like you were just waking up and sitting up.
Yeah. And so they put me in the emergency room. I had probably about 15 seizures.
Damn.
And I remember it felt like I died, and then I woke up and I was already in the center, whatever.
Is it where they kind of tie you down almost?
Yeah, they didn't tie me down to the hospital bed, but they did have to like tie me down while I was being moved.
Right.
From the hospital to the psych
ward.
Yeah.
Is psych ward crazy? Like I know some people that have been to the psych ward, and
I've seen American Horror Stories.
There were some people who were, and then there were some people who just were depressed, tried to kill themselves.
Right.
But then there were some people who had more severe symptoms.